Hello, good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you see this. This is Dee with INFP-A Assertive Insights. And today we're going to be talking about real life, the sensory world, the world of the ESTJs, and to follow up on my previous video of ISTJ. We're going to talk about that. Let me know what you think. If you're new, welcome. This is a channel about everything INFP, from an older INFP, based on my professional and personal experience and observations. So here we go. If you notice, I'm talking slower than usual. I am totally 1000% drained and wiped out, because I've been doing sensory things. That's what I said. That's why I'm doing the spring series of relationships. Taking a break from that. I will do a couple more. My next one I was going to do is the ESTJ, which is where I live. About everybody almost is an ESTJ. And if not, an ISTJ. And I'll tell you why in that video. But to follow up on everything, and this is just kind of like a rambling thing, to put it out there where I am physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, besides drained. I was doing well. Last week I got a lot of things accomplished. I was able to do more activities by chores outside the house. And I was feeling pretty good about myself. I went to the doctor. First thing, I went to the doctor for a 6-month checkup. Seems like he had an epiphany. There is hope for Western medicine. He looked at me and he asked me, I told him, I said, I'm still tired. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm still tired. Still get fatigue. And he looked at me and he said, did you have COVID? And I'm thinking to myself, that's what I've been telling you we've been talking about for 4 years. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But he was telling me a story about taking his exam to keep his license and exam. And on the exam was a question about people who can't have COVID immunizations. And he was telling me because I can't either. And he said, I knew the answer. And I said, yes, because of me. How's that? Aren't you glad you met me? So then, I guess, because there was a question he knew and nobody else seemed to know, he was more open to listen. There is hope. There's hope for people. So anyway, he, make a short story long like I tend to do, he said, well, if you've had COVID there was no testing when I had it. He said, oh, well, that's, you've got chronic fatigue syndrome. And I'm like, yeah, I've been telling you this for 4 years. He's been telling me it's all in my head, but he had to make a joke about it, like, well, we told you it was all in your head, but realistically, it is all in your head because it's neurological. That was his attempt to make a joke. I did not find it funny. I found it very MBTI and more like a INTP kind of person. Oh, geez, I'm giving myself headaches. But anyway, he gave me the official diagnosis, and now I feel better because he is more willing. He actually gave me a physical this time. He looked at my ankles. He looked at my ankles. At least he did something besides just 5 minutes of asking me questions from his computer and telling me I need to exercise. He said, oh, you need to pace. I said, well, I've been doing that. I've been telling you that. So anyway, he became kind of the client, and I became the patient, and I became more of the doctor. in that scenario. So I felt pretty good, but I was totally wiped out because from that trip is all the way across town. It takes me almost an hour to drive there and back because of traffic. It's not that many miles, but traffic's horrible. So yeah, I do feel better about that. And I was feeling pretty good. I was getting things done, marking a lot of things off my list. Proud of myself. Went to get my car inspected, but then everything sort of fell apart. Went to get my car inspected. It did not pass. First time in 30 years, the car is not really 30, it's 28 years old. First time in 28 years it has not passed. There was one tire that was about to strip out or something from the side, which my regular people that look at my car have never mentioned to me, and I doubt in the last 6 months when I was over there last, having an oil change and tire rotation, that it got that bad. But I'd had the tire, so I went to a different place for an inspection. I went to just a tire shop because I could get in quick. And yeah, I know they sell tires. I'm looking at the upsell, but he said, well, the tire's 8 years old, and I really can't remember the last time I bought any tires. So I wound up buying 4 tires, but I would only buy 4 tires. I know I don't have to, but I have no idea how old these tires are, and I don't want to be on the road, and I don't want to kill myself because the tire explodes. So yeah, so I said, well, I'll buy 4 if you give me 3. I mean, if you charge me for 3, do you have a deal? And he said, yeah, we'll do that. So anyway, because you know, in another 8 years, who knows where I'll be? Who knows where the car will be? Maybe I bought tires for the last time. It does ride a lot better, I can tell you that. So nobody in the regular shop, not body shop, what do you call it, mechanic place that I normally go to has mentioned that my tires are balding on the sides. They're splitting out. What do you call it? I'm not... I'm an intuitive. I don't know what you call it. But, yeah, so that happened. So there goes my vacation money for this month. I was going to go on a vacation to get out of here, to be my real self after I get through with all these chores. But the main thing is that happened. Didn't like it. Now that's the irony of it. I bought 4 tires to be safe on the road when I travel, and now I've spent the money and I don't have money to travel. So the bottom line is my car's still sitting in the spot where it was sitting in. And yeah. I did want to mention just one thing. I did see Brendan's video, Psych Casserole's video today about 6 things that confuse INFPs. He's talking about he hasn't registered his car, or whatever he hasn't done with the car. Yeah, I'm later than normal. I have until May, but I normally do it when I get the bill, just to get it over with. I did pay for the tags, and I don't know if they'll come, but the oil change is going to wait a long time. Yeah, my driver's license comes due. I just mentioned this. My driver's license comes due again like in 2 years. And I can't do it online anymore because after a certain amount of time or a certain age or whatever, or both, you have to go in person. And the DMV here is like 6 months long. You get in line for 11 o'clock appointment, and it may be the next year you're still standing in line, grown a beard, whatever. It's impossible to go, so I thought, well, what'll happen if I just don't? Probably won't be able to vote. I don't know, but what if you just don't? I don't think I'll get my driver's license renewed. Just too much of a hassle if they don't come up with a shortcut way. So yeah, I can totally relate to that. So I've had car issues. First time in 28 years my car did not pass inspection. Okay, so then that gave me a headache. Then when I got back from that, the ISTJ, I will tell you about the ISTJ. Well, when I came back from the doctor's office, I did not park in my assigned space. I have a handicap space. I didn't park in that because I have an issue with the bird that's flirting with the side mirrors. I didn't know it was an issue until I looked on Amazon. I looked all over online, and Amazon was one that had them. They're little like sock kind of things that you can covers you can put on your side view mirrors. Evidently, it's a main thing out in this country, maybe the world. I don't know. I have never heard of that. In all my life, I have never heard of birds trying to mate with your car, and then they poop all over the side of the car. And I went to wash my car, and they're tearing up the mirror. So, yeah, I was trying to train him not to do that. So I didn't park in the space. I parked in another space, a general one. Well, just for that one day, because I came back from the doctor and I was wiped out and I wanted to go get close to the door. That's where I parked. The next day I moved it to do some other chores. Came back. I had done 5 chores. I was still really tired. And I came back, and then the ISTJ manager, I came up to we have a drive up that's a drop off, which is nice. It's a covered porch, and you can drive up and drop off people, pick up people in bad weather. You don't get wet, and you can unload and load. It's kind of like that. But you can't stay and leave your car. You can't stay a long time. But when I go to the grocery store, I do that, and I only have like 2 big bags, 2 shopping bags full, and then because it's too heavy to drag from my lot to the other. And yes, I do know I can get a little basket thing to push. I'm determined not to do that because then you lose your muscle and you get older, and next thing you know, you're in a wheelchair. That's true. I'm determined not to use any kind of aid. I'm going to use my body best I can. So anyway, I drive up. I always drive up, leave the 2 bags, go park my car, and then take the 2 bags and go in the front door. Well, when I got out of the car, the manager came out, and she came outside. That's rude. She came outside with a pit bull face on, and her little snippy thing, and she was like, did somebody park in your space? And I knew where she was going. Instead of just saying calmly, would you please not take up 2 spaces? You have an assigned space. And I would have said, okay, fine. I knew that. I'm an adult. I'm the adult in the room. Don't treat me like a 5-year-old. I'm the adult in the room. I know what I did. I know where you're going with this. And she can't ask her to come directly. She has to be sarcastic and controlling. If you haven't seen my ISTJ video, please watch that. What I think about that, what's happened to me. PTSD, Trump was coming through. So I just told her, I said, I know where you're going with this. I don't want to hear it. The conversation's over. And she kept coming. She kept coming at me. She kept coming at me. It pushed me over the limit. INFPs, and she has been on my rear end all year long for nothing. It is not in the least that you can't park in 2 spaces, do 2 different spaces. It's not in the least anything that she's told me all year. This was the 4th time, so I've had it. So finally it boiled down to, I told her, she just kept on and said, stop it. I'm not listening to you. I told you. You do what you need to do. I'll do what I need to do, and that's the end of it. But I think you would do very well to care a little bit more about the people who live here and less about the condition of the building and this one parking space that I took, evidently. So think about that. And the conversation's over. And it went on like 5 minutes. This is the gist of it. And her face turned purple. I've made it turn red before. Her face turned purple because I would not. But she was yelling at me right up front. Next time she does that, I'm calling the authorities, because that is elder abuse. So I'll let the state take her. She's been complaining to her bosses. They don't care. Maybe the state will care. They take state money, bond money, taxpayers' money, help pay for this. That's why we don't pay full rent. So we don't pay full rent, and that's why I'm here. But so I could travel, but I buy car tires. So anyway, so that's what's happened with that. That just sent me for a loop. Sent me throwing for a loop. The real world is hard. The real world, now I can say it, the real world sucks. I hear you. All you out there, most of you who do see my channel, not everybody, but analytically speaking, the majority of you are in your 20s and 30s. I know you think you have a hard life. Things going, and it sucks. It just sucks being an INFP in the ESTJ, ISTJ world. People just, you just can't reason with people. And, but the funny thing about the ISTJ manager is, and I thought it was funny, maybe somebody told her that I thought it was funny and laughed, and maybe that's why she was mad. She's very passive aggressive. I mean, super, like she's almost evil. I hate to call people evil, but I mean, she just goes off on people. These are old folks in here. No, you cannot abuse. That is emotional abuse. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse. I'm going to see what the state has to say next time. You just wait and see. Maybe she learned her lesson, but I do not think so. They usually do not. But what happened that I thought was a funny story, it wasn't funny for the man, but that one woman was telling me that the night before the inspection, now I told you about we were having this inspection. We've had 3 inspections in this year. The night before, there is, I will say, there is a senior living place a block up the street. So some man from up there was very disoriented. He had no clothes on except a shirt. He was in our building, and he was incontinent both ways. I'll put it that way. He left traces in the elevator, smeared all on the wall with his hands, totally disoriented, had no clue, his name, number, he didn't know anything about anything. So one neighbor of my neighbors saw him and decided to call 911. And the police came, and they wanted to talk to the manager, so my neighbor called the emergency number, who's the manager. I mean, we have no security here, so we don't know how the guy got in. And I feel sorry for the guy. I could care less about the building. I've been through that with you all, that I care more about, INFPs care more, I think, about people than objects. And ISTJs are the opposite a lot of times. So the manager, I don't know what she said other than don't let him sit on anything. But she had to get it cleaned. It was the night before. I'm like, karma's a bitch. She's getting hers the night before this main big inspection. And couldn't have been timed any better. I feel sorry for the man. I hope they send him, I think they sent him to the hospital. And I hope he gets straightened out with wherever he needs to go, whether it's a medication issue or dementia issue. But I hope he's fine. I could care less what he did. I mean, that can be cleaned up. But yeah, she was all out of sorts. Don't let him sit on the furniture. Don't let him sit in. My neighbor was saying, I felt sorry for him. He was about to pass out. Jeez. It sucks. Did I say that? Have I said that yet? It really sucks being in the real world if you're an INFP. And to top it all off, my internet went out yesterday for no reason. The whole neighborhood did. How you like that? So I didn't get to watch the hockey game. Now, I am a sports fan, and I will pull for the local teams, but I would just say the Carolina Hurricanes are in the Stanley Cup playoffs again. And go Canes. They played last night, but I didn't get to see it. So it is now fixed. But that gave me the hugest headache. Backache, headache. I went to bed. I found the game on the radio, and I just went to bed like at 7:30. My back hurt really bad, and it's all neurological. The chronic fatigue's neurological. I think INFP's neurological. ADHD, we have talked about before, is neurological disorder. So my nervous system being out, this is the second week now. I have been out doing people-y things, sensory things, doing what I need to do out and about in the world, the real world. It's just turned upside down, and I don't know how long it's going to take to recuperate. So I do have one video that I did before all this happened that I will publish. I have it published for Monday, but I'm going to move the time. I'm going to suspend the spring series because I actually am a little bored with it. It's time to move on to a new project. Another shiny object has come my way. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be typed. I've been thinking about this for a year. I'm going to be typed. I have typed as 4 different types. The MBTI types, depending on my test. I've typed as 16 personalities, does the AT. So I'm going to be, I'm an INFP-A. I've been an INFP, INFP-A, INTP, ISFP, ENFP, and an outlier of INFJ. There's an outlier of INFJ out there. Very outlier, but it's there. So I thought, well, you know, I'm doing this channel. Why am I doing this channel if I'm not an INFP? I'm being pragmatic a little bit. Why am I doing this? I appreciate you, and I think I am, but I thought it'd be fun. That would be a fun project. Now, the issue about doing things with other people online, like my collabs, that's another thing, my collabs, I can't say that word. I've run dry with that. I've found out that, somebody said it online, that we end up in the spam folder. Somebody was talking about collabs the other day, like, oh, I'm getting all these requests for collabs. Nobody really does that. They're spammers. They're from other countries. They're out after your money. They never mention paying you. All they want to, and I'm just putting it all in the spam box. They're all fake. And that just kind of, it didn't hurt my feelings. It could have had. But I got pissed because I know it's not true. So anyway, it takes 2. You can't type, you know, it's not good to diagnose yourself, and it's not good to type yourself, I don't think. But, and it's all a tool anyway, it's just for fun. So I've been trying to figure out who to do it and who would respond. And some people did not respond who do it. I've decided I wanted someone to do it who is totally different from me, who, who is totally different from me, who shoots from the hip kind of personality, doesn't pull any punches, doesn't sugarcoat anything, because I like that. Yeah, it might hurt my feelings that people say what they really think, but I get over it. I don't like being lied to. I mean, that's my number one value. Do not lie to me. Tell me straight. I want it straight, to the point. So I had asked a person or two who fit that bill, and I never got a response. I got blown off. Maybe I'm in the spam folder. But I did find, I am going to be typed. This popped up, randomly popped up as a
recommendation.
Never heard of it. Jack. I'm going to get Jack from World Socionic Society, which I have read comments. I know nothing about socionics. Nothing. I read comments on the MBTI channels from viewers, what they think of socionics. And I don't think socionic people like MBTI and vice versa. So that's interesting to me, that it's from a different viewpoint. I think I am sounding like an INFP, really. Because I like different viewpoints. I like to let's explore, let's do something different. And I like his voice. He's calming to me. Actually, I play his videos right at bedtime, and he can put me to sleep. In a good way. But we have communicated. We have it set up tentatively. I won't mention anything until it comes out and see what happens. But we are communicating. He did respond. That's another thing I'm finding out. There's a lot of more ageism in the United States than I thought. The people who have really agreed to talk to me, except for a couple, and I appreciate you, have been overseas. So I think a lot of it has to do with my age. Or maybe that makes it sound like, because I tell them how old I am when I initiate the email. I want them to know that. I don't, why aren't more older people typed anyway? When you see it, they're all young people. So I thought that might be interesting. But it'd be something interesting to know and something interesting for us to discuss. What he thinks from socionics viewpoint. So I'm going to do that. I need a project. That's my new shiny thing. So the spring relationship stuff, I will finish it. I only have like 3 more to go because I don't associate with other types that I'm aware of. But in between, I'm taking a break. I need a break because it's the real world. Have I said yet that the real world stinks for an INFP? I am so wiped out that I want to do something for myself that I can share with you all, that we can all do together. So yeah, this is way long, but I think I deserve to have a way long one. So yeah, put your comments below, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate you. Yeah, do you get this wiped out from the real world? I remember when I still play fantasy football, but I was in all the fantasy sports way back about 20 years ago when I first started, and I got really hooked into it, and I quit one year. After about 10 years, I quit one year, and I said, I need to get a real life. So I quit to go get a real life. The next year I was back, and I said, the real life wasn't much fun. I really didn't have a real life. There's no real life out there. This is the real life. Fantasy is the real life. So anyway, I appreciate you. Appreciate you sticking with me. Appreciate you sticking with me to the end of this. If you did, if you clicked off long ago, you wouldn't know. But yeah, this is what has happened in my weeks of trying to do people stuff, trying to do regular people stuff, regular world stuff. It's just come to hell in the handbasket fast. So until next time, everyone, stay safe.